Now, ladies and gentlemen, welcome back everybody to an episode of CSGO News. This is the series where I show and tell you what's been going on in the community for CSGO this past week. Of course, that being the pro scene, the CSGO investing space, if things have gone up or down in a drastic way that needs to be discussed to warn or tell people what's going on with that. Of course, the YouTube side of things for creators anyway, if they're pump and dumping something or something's a little fishy or something needs to be noted in a good or positive way. And of course, future updates if that's operations or source 2. What do we know right now? But in today's video, we're going to be specifically talking about the market and how some things are drastically going up and of course drastically going down that I think need to be discussed so people don't buy into these before it's too late, of course. Maybe lose some money, or if you have some right now, you might want to consider selling some if you got them for a very cheap price. Now, if you guys are new to the channel and enjoy weekly Counter-Strike Global Offensive content, make sure you hit that like button and of course subscribe. And before we hop into the questions and of course commentary, here's a quick word from our video sponsor, Skins Monkey. Now, today's video sponsor is of course Skins Monkey. Skins Monkey is currently the easiest and also fastest way you can buy, but most importantly, trade your CSGO skins. All you have to do is make sure you have your trade link, and on your first trade, if you have a leftover balance, it goes towards your current balance that can be used the next time you end up trading skins. It has 3 ways you can inspect, but most importantly has a very in-depth inspect feature that you can see corners on a karambit, for an example, that you can't really see otherwise unless you have the item in game. If you end up topping up your balance, make sure to use promo code MANDO to get up to a 35% deposit bonus and a free $5 on the first trade. So the first thing, I've seen people talk about a possible market crash. I'm not completely denying that could happen, but right now there are some things just to keep note of that we do know at the moment. The CSGO player count is extremely high, and with nothing going on, people are wanting to open cases, unbox stickers, going back to older things that are raising the prices, of course, and buying skins, knives, gloves, and whatnot. But with an operation possibly coming soon, I think that will halt the people wanting to unbox older stuff, and they'll kind of go to the newer stuff. So I think we could see older things go down, but not at the drastic price and drastic way a lot of people are talking about. Like, you're not going to see a breakout case go from $4 or $5 down to $1. It's just not possible, and it's just not going to happen anymore. It's just not like that. I think we could see like a 25-30% loss on it for a short period in time. Then it will of course go back up because people know those things are going to be in demand and people enjoy unboxing stuff. So hopefully that clears out some stuff in the water. Now, overall, looking at the market, nothing has completely gone down a lot. Antwerp, of course, this is for another video for another time, which I plan on making this week. These stickers are down in the dumps right now, but I don't think they're going to be like that forever, kind of like how I've talked about recently. Now, for Stockholm, same sort of situation, especially more, though, than Antwerp. They're really low in quantity. They're going to be in demand. They are kind of in demand at the moment, but people are kind of just going back to older majors, older stickers. Like, I know Katowice 2019, as well as Krakow 2017 has gotten a lot of hype recently, even for some of just the paper and foil stickers. That's pretty interesting as well. So when that hype's over, we could see the newer hype for the newer majors come as well. Things that are notable that have gone down are, of course, the active duty drop pool cases. Now, the clutch case has gone down to 28 cents just a few days ago. The Dreams and Nightmares is 72 now, which is pretty good. And the recoil case is hovering around $1 to $1.23 on a daily basis, which is actually very good. This doesn't mean it's a good investment. And now what I mean by that is these 2 cases specifically are in the main active duty primary drop pool. And I have a video coming for this as well later this week, why you shouldn't really go into the active duty drop pool cases inside of CSGO. Because if we lose 200,000 or 300,000 players all of a sudden, not saying that will happen, but it's a decent possibility and it has happened in the past. It's proven to be right. These cases will be the first ones to go down because not many people will be playing the game, not as many people will be unboxing cases. Therefore, these ones specifically, since they're dropping the most, will not be really in much demand. The clutch case, though, is kind of in its own sort of situation right now, meaning it's 32 cents. And the thing that's different from this and everything else is it is the most unboxed case inside of Counter-Strike by a long shot, a little over 3 million every single month. So this one, even if people left the scene, I wouldn't see it drop that much. So if you want to go into it, it's really a 50-50. You're a lot better off going into something that's definitely retired and non-prime drop pool, so it doesn't drop as much. The fracture case has obviously gone down a lot from when it was the other day at its all-time high at 22 cents at 17 now. Nothing crazy, but it is something to keep note of. Things that also have gone down are, of course, the breakout case, and this thing has been hyped up like crazy, going to $5 almost, dropping down to $3.80, currently sitting at $4. Now, as you can see, the quantity on the breakout case, and for a lot of these, have actually gone up quite a bit, especially the breakout. It was around under 10,000, now it's 18,000. So people are wanting to sell these right now, which makes no sense because it's, of course, buy high, sell low. But the first big hype I want to talk about is, of course, the Prisma 2. A lot of people are wondering what's going on with this. Why is it going from, 15, 13 cents to 28 to 30 cents in the matter of just a few days? Number one, the demand for these knives are going up like crazy. So these knives, especially in the Prisma 2, have gone up quite a bit. I have a video on this from last week that I covered where I was buying and selling knives for really $300 to $500, $600. And I noticed $40, $50, $60 on them in just a matter of a couple weeks, which is very, very crazy. And that's something you don't always see inside of CS, especially in a 1 month period. So with those knives going up, the case is also correlating with that quite a bit. And with the players going higher, people are wanting to unbox this case. The skins in it aren't necessarily horrible. It's just most people are going for the knives nowadays, and that's definitely risen the price, but it's also down quite a bit from what it was the other day at 28 cents. Should you buy into this right now? For me personally, it's not the worst opportunity since it is down, but I think it could go down some more. And when the operation comes out, I think we could see things like this go down a little more. So you'll have a little bit more of an opportunity. But if you're holding for the long term, definitely not the worst case and worst option in the world. Now, the next thing up is, of course, a patch from Operation Riptide that was the same price as the Riptide case at the time for 2 stars. Now, me personally, I've been checking in with CSGO YouTube. I've been seeing this all over people's titles and thumbnails. Not necessarily clickbaiting them in, but not giving them the full instance of information you can receive with it. So this is currently $28, which is kind of crazy because it's a pretty default patch. Doesn't look like it's anything crazy. And before in the past, this was for a very cheap price of $1, $3 in the market. Had a little hype in April for 10 and then obviously went back down a lot to 5. And now here we are sitting currently when these things are on the market right now for $45, $30, and currently they're sitting at $30. Now, should you buy into this? Absolutely not. As you can see on the Steam charts, I would say it's somewhat of market manipulation in a weird way. It has a very low quantity, so it's going to show these up very easily on the market. So you see there's been 15 sold, 6 sold, 3 sold, 1 sold, and it kind of goes up. And the only ones that are sold are like between 2 and 6 in quantity at these high prices, which is not very stable at all. People are kind of manipulating the price, I think, right here with this specific item. And also patches, like I talked about in Mando Monday and some other videos, they're just not something you can hold in a very high amount of quantity for the long term of things. Sure, they might be pretty good, but you can't buy up all these and expect to sell them all at once for 2 or 3 times the profit. They're just not in that much demand versus how much supply we have. And also with patches, people are wondering why we have so little. Is because, one, at the time they were out, they weren't in demand whatsoever. Agents have recently gotten a little bit of hype because obviously if you use the Sir Bloody Miami Daryl or the Sir Bloody Daryls at all, you have a 16% difference in the hitboxes, so it's harder to hit you. So if you're running down T-side mid on Inferno, person on the CT side is going to have a really hard time hitting your head 9 times out of 10. And with agents getting hype, patches are also getting hype because you can apply those to there. For me personally, this is probably the riskiest thing on this entire list and something we've talked about recently inside of CS. It's just not my ideal thing to really buy into, especially at this point in time. I would wait personally 2 or 3 days to see what this price goes to, maybe even a week if you guys want to really play it safe. And if it's steadying out still around $25, $30, then maybe go into it, buy 1 or 2 of them. Don't really go over that. And of course, some notable options as well. The revolver case and fracture case have been getting some attention recently in the news of CSGO. And people are wondering why. So essentially, people are not unboxing this for the skins inside of it. People don't really care about them, especially for the revolver case. You don't really get anything if you unbox a red in this. But if you unbox a knife in this, you get the old OG knives inside of CSGO besides the chroma ones, which is very, very good because those are very hard to get nowadays because the buy-in price for a lot of these is over $1 if you want to get anything decent for a gold in a case anymore, especially if you're going something for the classic finish anyway. So that's the reason that's been going up. And this is something that I don't really would see going down a lot if the market did crash, we lost a lot of players. In the fracture, same sort of situation. The skins in it aren't horrible. They're a little different than the revolver case situation. The Deagle's pretty nice. The AK Legion of Anubis, I think it's all right. It's like a decent red, not the best one in the world, but people are mainly going for those knives in it, which is pretty interesting. And with the fracture case being 17 cents, it had an all-time high the other day of 22, and this was 13 last month. So that's something to keep in mind. This and the breakout case are very similar in a lot of means, of course, besides the quantity. The fracture case being a lot higher than, of course, the breakout. But the breakout, the same sort of situation stands with really the revolver and the fracture, where no one's going for the actual skins inside of it. People only want the golds, and specifically for the butterfly knife case, people are really only going to unbox this for the butterfly knives. And because butterfly knives are the most loved knives inside of CS, I would say for the most part, these aren't really going to go down anytime soon. Now, for buying into any 3 of these specifically, breakout case is definitely good for the long term. The only con to buying the breakout case is you can buy 3 or 4, maybe even 20 times the amount of fracture cases, for an example, then you can buy the Operation Breakout case. So if you hold for the long term, you'll have more to sell and possibly a lot more in the long run. And also the breakout has sometimes a shorter hype. So You buy in at $4, in 3 or 4 months, you could see a spike up to $5 again. You sell at that price and you go into something else. Versus the fracture case, you could be waiting a year to see some of the gains you saw in the breakout case. So it just comes down to money versus time. If you want to spend more money, you won't have to wait as much time. And if you spend less money, you're gonna have to wait more time, but you could have more profit in the long run. It just, once again, it might take a very long time. Let me know what you guys think. Do you guys enjoy this for today? It's pretty interesting. I've been wanting to cover this the past couple of days. And if you guys have any questions, leave them down below. Once again, if you want to go on anything that has some sort of hype, make sure you just wait a few days to see if it actually still stands, because 9 times out of 10, like we've seen recently with the Hooksy and Outsiders, they have gone down a lot after just the first few days. Let me know what you guys think. Stay positive, stay sexy. I'm out, guys. Peace.